everyone, and welcome down to episode number 25 in 2022 for the Down South Photo Show. We have made it through to another year. Let's see what this year brings. Should be fun. I'd like to say a very hello to my good mate down in Tasmania, Cam Blake. G'day, Cam.
G'day. Who are you again?
I'm Brendan Waits. Another new year, nothing's changed. Still forget to introduce myself.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Brendan Waits, and I'd like to say hello to my good mate down in Tasmania, Cam Blake. G'day, Cam.
G'day, Brens. Now I know your name. I can actually talk to you now. That's good.
It's,
I didn't know who it was.
Yeah. Well, look, you know, why would anything improve while I'm in the off season?
I can still see you're not 16 by 9 crop, 4 by 3 or whatever. It's beautiful.
Hey, come on, one thing at a time. I'll get the intro right, then I'll go to 16.9.
Yeah, you're so 2021. That's you. Yeah.
I know. I'm so last year.
I know.
So
yeah, happy New Year and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. And here we are, 2022. What could possibly go wrong?
That's right. Let's hopefully. Look,
crossed.
we're not even going to dwell on it. We're just going to say good luck to everyone. 2022.
Good luck.
Hopefully,
you're on your own.
That's right, because God knows we've got enough crap to deal with. So,
yeah.
But thank you for joining us for another year of the Down South Photo Show. This is, as I say, first episode for the year. Exciting times. Always a time when, well, personally, we like to sort of sit down and think about the year ahead and stuff we might want to achieve and goals and all that sort of stuff. So you get to hit the reset button and have another crack at things. I know that's been doing a bit of that lately. A couple of days off, which has been lovely.
Yeah, that's good.
Not nearly enough, but a couple of days off for sure.
And you've been flat out at the shops, I imagine, over this silly season?
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, I'm based in Ocean Grove in southern Victoria on the beautiful coastline. So we've got a beautiful beach here that a lot of people from the Big Smoke in Melbourne, which is only 90 minutes away, like to head down to their holiday homes and caravan parks. And the joint is generally jumping. So this year's no exception. It's been a little bit quieter compared to, say, summer 1920, for obvious reasons. Things have been a little bit quieter. Yeah. A lot less internationals and that sort of stuff, but still hard to get a car park around Ocean Grove, which is always a good sign for me. Keeps the register ticking at my shop. So shops, plural.
You're doing one better than Tasmania when you're saying you can't get a car park. We can't actually get cars down here because the hire cars, all gone. Everyone's hired them out.
Okay.
They're going for $200 or $300 a day.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are, speaking of internationals and tourists, we opened up on December 15, just before Christmas down here, and there's people around, but it's not chock-a-block. The people are still a little bit, whether or not I come or not, and the issues of getting tests before they come down and all that jazz. So, the hire car, the Spirit of Tassie's booked out until almost middle of next year because everyone's bringing their own cars down. So, it's crazy.
What could you get for the Navara for a couple of days, mate?
Wow, it could be all right, couldn't it? It could probably...
That's right.
Well, they actually did. There was the government that it was either the state government or the tourism board put out something last year about actually hiring your own car out, and they were incentivizing people to do it. So the government was paying you to hire your car out because there was no hire cars here. I don't know how that worked legally. Like if you total someone's car,
right. Yeah, I'm sure there'd be insurance ramifications and stuff, but it's sort of like Airbnb for your car. Yeah,
it was very weird. So, but yeah, things are relatively normal down here in Tassie. It's been a funny year. Hopefully going forward 2022 will be a little bit less entertaining. Maybe it'll be nice, apart from our show, of course. This is going to be entertaining all the way through.
I've actually had over the festive season, I've had several customers come in and say that they're listeners of the podcast, which is pretty cool.
Excellent.
Shout out to Mark, who came in today and
g'day, Mark.
Said g'day, and I've known Mark for a little while, but he said, I got onto your podcast and then I sort of realised it was pretty good, which I think's a compliment.
Is that like a 3.5 star rating? Like,
and he listens in the car on the way to work and that sort of stuff. So, and he said he sort of binge listened because he got onto us a bit late and he binge listened and caught up. So, which was great. I'll tell you what was great was the live show we did just prior to Christmas.
Yes.
I can't remember when we did that, but it was. got a lot out of those.
Definitely
on our agenda, we've been talking a little bit about perhaps a live show every month. At the very least, a live show every season. But I think one a month would be pretty cool. Like on a Sunday afternoon, evening. And the reason I like them was because of the interaction. So the instant feedback you get, the questions that you get. And I think I work a little bit better on the fly as well of the questions coming in, and it gives us more content.
Are you trying to indicate that the ones we pre-record are some way scripted or edited heavily? Because they're not.
No, they're definitely not. No, because I do the editing.
Do we actually cut anything out of these pre-recorded ones? I don't think we do we?
The only time we've had to cut out something was when I had a coughing fit that time.
That's right, and the other one when I need to go to the toilet.
The bathroom break. That's right.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's really been it. And we had to bleep out a couple of companies that we bashed one time.
Do you want me to drop their names again? So you got
to no, because I can't be bothered with the edit. Let's keep this edit nice and simple. Thank you. What have you got there, Cameron?
Speaking of,
for those of you on the podcast and can't see, Cameron's holding something.
I got a wrapped up print. So on the live show, we gave away 2 prints and a canvas. Now
we did.
I drew the winners of those, and that was on the Facebook page for the Down South.
You looked very lonely doing that on your own. I felt
did.
terrible.
I was almost going to stick like a picture of you behind me just to make it sound like you were there. But anyway, and then the random generator I had, which if you watched it, it generated a name. I put all the names in, it generated a name. But before you got to the name, you had to click like all the 30 different free ads to get to the name because it was a free program. So that was pretty crappy. But we gave away some prints, and one of the prints was won by a gentleman, I'm assuming Sam Wilson, who commented on the live show. But I haven't heard from Sam. I can't find him anywhere. I can't look him up anywhere. So Sam, if you're watching, which no doubt you are because you're an avid listener / watcher, there's a print for you. Can you please get in touch with us so we can send it to you? And the gentleman...
You're going to have 5 Sam Wilsons contact us now.
Well, the one that was legit will do.
That one.
That one. And
I'm Sam Wilson. No, I'm Sam Wilson.
And the gentleman that won the canvas print that you're going to do, he is still Matt. He's still waiting to get back to me. He's a little bit busy at the moment. He's got a bit going on with his life there. So good luck to you, Matt.
Whenever you're ready, Matt.
Yeah. The live shows are great. They tend to get a good lot of interaction, and I like them. And we can put one of those together a month or every season or something like that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah,
absolutely. That'd be great. Now, it is a photography show. Have you had the camera out of late, Mr. Blake?
I actually have. And I went to Melbourne for a very, very short period of time over Christmas, and I picked up myself another lens for my camera. And so I'm using the little Leica at the moment, and I picked up a 35mm lens, a 35mm f2, just something a little bit wider than a 50mm. It's pretty cool. And I picked up this little macro adapter as well, so I can actually do macro, because the Leicas only have like a 70cm working distance, which is, I don't know why it is that. I don't know what the deal with that is with the lenses that are made like that. But I took a few photos, not in Melbourne. I've taken a few. The one behind me was only taken a couple of days ago. For those playing at home or on the podcast, this is a Tasmanian Waratah and one of the walking tracks up in the Hearts Mountains, which is about an hour and a bit south of Hobart. I've had a few shots there and then, but not as much as I probably liked. Right. How's your iPhone going?
Well, you've taken probably 100 more photos than me in the last 2 weeks. All I seem to have on my the only photos I've been able to take have been of the family at Christmas time, of course, and that sort of stuff, but definitely no landscape stuff. Having said that, I did on New Year's Day, did a little drive up into central Victoria to a little town called Elmore, where my son is currently attending a thing called Vic Jam, which is the Victorian Scout Jamboree.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And it was only 40 degrees, so it wasn't too bad.
So overcast.
Yeah. But one thing I noticed about northern Victoria, as soon as you get across the divide, it could be 18 degrees here.
Yep.
And you get over that divide, the clouds all change to beautiful, white, fluffy, against stark blue skies.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different there. The air's cleaner, it's clearer. There's something about going into interior of Australia.
Yeah.
As I say, north of the dividing range.
We used to see that every year. We used to go up to Bright in northeast Victoria. As soon as you get over Seymour, and it's not much of a range you go over at that stage. The Great Dividing Range is pretty low at that stage, but
I think at that section it's only 600 metres.
Yeah, it's not very big at all, and you get over there, and then you're right. It's like you go into another world. Like everything sort of the air gets clearer, the clouds get fluffier, the scenery gets a bit nicer, and so but that would have been good. Is he still up there? Or is he back now?
He's got it's 10 nights, so
Cool.
it's a big deal. It was actually supposed to be the Australian Jamboree, but of course with everything going on, they scaled it right back.
Yeah.
And when I say scaled it back, there are still 4,500 scouts there. All tenting it on site. It's a mobile city. It's absolutely incredible to see the logistics of it. It's been months in the building of the site. They've got a stage there that would rival any rock concert I've ever been to, and every night they have rock concerts. That's brilliant. Fireworks display New Year's Eve. They've got an on-site water fun park set up. They've got it's amazing. Climbing walls, ropes courses,
That's unreal.
mountain bike trails,
Photography courses.
No.
There you go. There's
an
something
opening.
for you. There's an idea for you.
4,500 instant customers there.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. Maybe something down the track we could do something like that. That'd be pretty cool, actually.
That would be
But anyway, as an aside, getting into those areas sort of was like, I got to get in here a bit more with the old camera, and it's bad sometimes for me because I'll be driving and I start looking around, like
I do the same when you're on a mission to go somewhere else. And you're like, there's a photo, there's a photo, there's a photo, there's a photo.
Yeah,
Isn't it
like,
fun?
God, I'd like to come back there at sunset or sunrise. And
Isn't it funny though? I always think this as I'm going along that we're all landscape photography or any photographer in general, but landscape probably more so. We're all about capturing time. That's pretty much what we're doing. We're capturing a moment in time that the fleeting bit of light, but we need time to capture that time, and that sometimes becomes harder than the actual photography. Is actually getting time to go out and go away from work or get away from family or go somewhere where you want to go and get there at the right time and get the shot. And I think it's getting harder and harder for people that making time to capture time is really quite tricky.
It is, I think, particularly for guys like us with young families, it makes it harder, but it just seems to be, and I suppose this is why I look forward to time off so much. Always got to be somewhere. You got to get somewhere. There's something going on. There's always, kids going to this and that sort of stuff, and finding time for yourself. And then when you get your downtime, I don't tend to instantly gravitate towards photography because I need to have a couple of days off beforehand. And get into a bit of a groove, and you can't force it. And I think this is the one thing I tell students who do my entry level workshop is, it's like fishing. Just because you've got the best bait and the best gear in the world doesn't mean you're going to go out and catch the biggest fish.
That's right.
You got to sort of let it come to you, and having the right mindset is really important.
Yeah.
So when you are rushing around, it's fine. It's all fine and good to scout locations, but dude, I probably saw 10 locations. I couldn't tell you where they are now.
Yeah.
So I need to start jotting things down, or
that's where
like a fish finder. Hit a thing on my thing, and it gives me a point where I can go back to.
Well, that's where your phones are really good as well now. Like if you take a photo, like a GPS is where you are. You can go back and have a look on a map to find out where you are.
Yeah,
and I love that about the phones. So, but I'm a little bit different to you, I reckon. Like I go through little slumps where I'm like, oh gee, I really need to go out and take some photos, and I sort of work the other way. I force myself to go, like even this shot behind us. I went up there with a friend Chelsea to go do sunset. As you can tell, it wasn't going to happen. But
what a
I'm
cracker.
like, what a cracker! Yeah, it happened somewhere. But I was of the opinion like, bugger this. I just want to get out. I want to go for a walk. I just want to see something. It'll happen. I'll find some photos. I'll take some shots, and it just felt good getting the camera out, testing a few new things, shooting in different conditions and stuff like that. So
I got to say you're exactly right, and it's probably a mindset that I've got to shift to. Because as I say, the majority of my photos are either taken when I'm on the way back from something else or on the way to something else, and because life's busy, right? So it's good it's a good attitude to have. And having said that as well, we'll just dwell for a second about photography stuff that you got for Christmas.
Oh yes,
because I got something for Christmas.
Another iPhone.
Photography related. I didn't even have to buy it myself. My darling daughter
really
bought it for me. She bought me a 3-pack of film.
Good
and I was touched. It was like, yeah, that's cool. Because she knows that you gave me that K1000 last year.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
And she also knows that friggin' thing is sitting behind me gathering dust, and
Yes.
I've got to get it out. And she goes, Dad, you sell film, but you never bring a pack of film home with you.
Yeah. What's wrong with you, Dad?
She's like, this is the first step, see?
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
Yeah, so-
It's funny you say that, because today I was out at the gallery today, out at Richmond. Come and say hello if you're in Richmond. 16 Bridge
There's a
Road at
plug
Richmond.
for you.
That is a plug. And we had some customers come. It was quite funny. I went there for an hour and a half, and within the first 5 minutes, we had like 12 people in this gallery. I'm like, holy shit! There's people everywhere. What's going on? But there was a family down there who had just moved to Tassie from what's your peninsula called? The
Bellarine.
Bellarine. I was going to say Benalla. God. From the Bellarine Peninsula, they lived down just out of Geelong. Yep. And they were having a good look around, and they're quite a big family, but there was only a few of them there at the time. But there was a young girl who was part of the family who is a photographer, studying photography, moving down here with her parents, and shot film. So we had a good 10-minute chat about what film she was using, what camera she's using. She's got every film camera under the sky you can think of, and she loves it. She just loves the idea of getting out and shooting film. And I agree. Like, shooting film is incredible and it's good for you.
I'm going off camera for one sec. Keep talking.
You're going off camera. It is great that you actually can get out and shoot film. I think it makes you a better photographer, and I think it makes you think more, and I think it makes you focus more, pun intended. I think it's good if people can get film cameras and go out and shoot film. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. So I'm putting this thing.
Oh, there it is. That's a nice looking camera.
I know, isn't it? It's huge too. Oh no, that's only because I'm holding it. No, it's it's awesome. I can't wait to get some film into that thing. So I've got it now, and so what I'm going to do, I've got a little road trip down to Port Fairy at the end of January.
Oh yeah.
That's coming with.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do shots on my digital SLR, that, and my phone, and do like comparisons. And it'll be interesting for me because I'll have to. It's not so much I'll have to change the way I take photos. The principles are all the same, I guess. But I'll be interested to see just the mechanics of it and what sort of habits I've formed, good or bad, by shooting purely digital to this point and not shooting film. And of course not knowing the results for like a week. So that's where it's going to be interesting.
I challenge a lot of people, and I'll challenge all our listeners out here, and feel free to share your results on our Facebook page. But I challenge myself sometimes where I'm like, I'd love to go out Mount Wellington and take some photos, but I'm not taking a digital camera. I'm just going to take, and if the greatest shot in the world happens while I'm out there and I've only got a film camera, then so be it. But I think what it does, it puts you in a complete mindset that, okay, I can't cheat here. I can't stuff around. I can't take 20 shots of the same thing and get it right off. And it's I think if you, out of every a dozen shoots you go out and do, if you do one of them that's purely film only, I reckon it improves your photography quicker than if you did more digital than not.
Okay, so this is a good topic because I've probably definitely in the last, since Christmas, where are we now? We're recording this on the 4th, so what's that, a week and a bit up, 10 days after Christmas. I've sold more film in the last 10 days than ever before. Film has had a proper renaissance. It's back in a big way. Particularly with late teens, early 20s. It's quite funny because it's a given that your digital camera is going to take a better photo. Your phone's going to take a better photo.
Is it?
No, it is.
Is it?
No, it is.
I disagree.
Hold
on.
Let me put the little caveat
Asterisk
there. These kids are buying secondhand Pentax. How can I explain it? They're not SLRs, right? They're compact film cameras, right? That had questionable optics to begin with. But a lot of them are also buying, and I sell them, so this is not a plug, but I just happen to sell them. With Agfa and Kodak have re-released compact film cameras. Right? And we stock them. They're plastic lenses, but one good thing is they're not disposable. So these disposable cameras that were really popular for a while, they are banned at Camera and Photo. We don't sell those anymore because they're landfill. They'll take a photo and they end up in a hole in the ground. So we've started selling reusable film cameras. Yes, they're made from plastic, but they're definitely not single-use plastic.
Yeah.
They get used, you reload them with film. Anywho, we're getting a lot of those back in, and the look is really cool. It has that retro, semi-washed out, you know what I'm talking about, grainy, you know.
Yeah.
They like it. They load it with the 400 film because they know that that's going to give them that grainy look that they're looking for. So there's a bit of knowledge there. But it's just fascinating to me. Back in the day, there was no choice. Now there is a choice.
That's right, yeah.
And they still want to go for that film look, even though the instant gratification of whipping out a phone, taking a photo, putting on social media, that's probably still happening. But now they want that film look with their photos, and I don't know whether it's just a trend, is it cool, or they genuinely like the process.
You know what I'm going to say? I got my little Olympus OM1 here, right?
Nice. We'll have a camera off.
You know what? I can tell you right now what the whole attraction to film cameras is, and it's as simple as this.
Yes.
That's all it is.
People, right, you need to do that closer to your mic so that people on the podcast could hear it.
So people love the idea of winding something on.
Listen to this bad boy. Hang on. Ready?
Oh, it's a clunk.
Oh, that's a clunk.
It's a clunk.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I think it's the clunk. I think you're right.
I think it is the clunk. It's the click. And I think also, film gives you amazing sort of feel and results, and you get that grain. Like I've shot in large format, which is 5" by 4" sheet film, and I can tell you now, you hold up a sheet film next to a digital print or whatever, and the film looks better every time. It's finer grain, it's higher resolution, more natural color. Like digital, you can pick a digital file against a film file any day of the week. So yeah, I still go back to that idea. Like I said, if people are listening and they've got an old film camera that still works, grab some film off Brendan or your local camera shop wherever you are, and do it. Do it once a month. Go out and put a roll of film out. It doesn't cost the world to develop it anymore. It's only a couple of cups of coffee. Get out there, and it does make you a better photographer. I can swear by this. If you put 12 rolls of film through in 2022. I bet you your photos with your digital camera improve tenfold.
Yeah, and I think they will for the simple reason that every time you push the button, it is actually worth something, both monetary
dollars.
And, well, here's the thing, Cam. So I'll sell these kids a camera and 3 rolls of film for $100, right? Yep. So let's say you come in and buy a 3-pack of film. That's $30. So it's $10 a roll to buy it. It's then $25 a roll to process it. So it's $35, give or take, right, to buy the roll of film and process. That's a 24 exposure film. So it's basically $1.50 every time you push the button. Now, it's just interesting that kids are deciding to spend their hard-earned on that, whereas the digital camera, the phone, doesn't cost them a brass razoo. They just take as many photos as they want. It's on a plan. And it's an interesting mindset that it's swung back, given how expensive it is to do film and processing.
Oh, well, hopefully they're not shooting this stuff. Can you see that stuff?
Velvia.
That's about $5 a shot.
But
I think what's happening is, and it's like everything. Like same with music, vinyl. Like vinyl came back with a bang. Old cars, they come back with a bang. Old clothes, fashion comes back with a bang. I think what people are doing is bucking the trend of digital cameras, and I think what a lot of people are now starting to understand, and I think again, social media's got a lot to play with this, but I think a lot of people are now starting to see that, oh, hang on, that photo that's been edited for 12 hours looks nothing like what a photograph should look like. I don't want to do that, and that's not photography. I think people are actually starting to really find their love of photography again as an art.
Which brings me around to the point I always make. So, and we've both been in the industry for quite some time, and we were there when digital became the thing, right?
Yeah.
And people ask me from the start, what's better, film or digital? And I've always maintained the fact that you can't compare them. One's an analog system, one's a digital system.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of pure results, I think it's unfair to compare them because they're completely different. One is a chemical process, one is a electronic process. So, it's like train lines; they're never going to cross. They're always going to have pros and cons either way. So it's a bit of a moot point, I think, when people say what's better. Well, they're both great.
Yeah.
Really, and both of them have pros and cons, as I say, and both of them sort of scratch each other's back. So as you say, if you go out and use your film camera a lot more, you're probably going to end up with better results digital. Same goes the other way, I would have thought, because in terms of exposing a digital sensor and exposing a piece of film, that physical process is the same.
Yeah.
You've still got your aperture values and your shutter speeds, and to some extent an ISO in terms of the grain of your film versus the ISO setting in your camera. So the old exposure triangle still rings true for film.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting that it's always been this thing. Well, what's better, film or digital? The look and feel of film is a very tactile thing. It's a very human thing, I reckon. And
I think also with film as well is there's a lot of history with film as well. So unless a lot of people have photo albums of negatives and can remember winding things on and getting them developed and dropping it off the camera shop, not knowing what they got, all that kind of. The poor wedding couple that put 35 disposable cameras on the table, not knowing what people are taking photos of.
Guilty, Your Honour.
Yeah, the amount of bums and other things we saw come through the lab sometimes.
Quick story. So I got married in 2001.
Right.
So we were still on the turn of digital. Well, digital was new, really new. And I rocked up, and I didn't book a wedding photographer. So I rocked up at my wedding with 2 film SLRs and 40 rolls of film, and gave 20 rolls of film to one brother and 20 rolls of film to another brother, and said, "Guess what? You're my wedding photographer." Right. On the day.
On the day.
And they're like, what? And neither of them knew anything about photography really, but they could run an SLR. They knew how to focus a thing.
Yeah.
And I love my wedding photos because they're so haphazard and because they're so not staged. We staged a couple of photos for the album, but the rest is like, I vividly remember seeing my brother, VB can in one hand, camera in the other, sitting back taking it. He loved it. They had a ball.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, you made me shoot your wedding. Now you're shooting mine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The tradition will be passed on.
And we did the disposable camera thing on the table. I think we had 20 disposable cameras and got like 8 photos.
Yeah.
That we could use.
If anyone's having a wedding now and you're thinking of putting disposable cameras on your table, don't. It's not. No. It's not worth it. It never ends nicely.
No, you'd be better off putting 20 iPhones out.
Well, it's true. That's true.
Yeah. Or just getting your guests to shoot your photos with.
So we've got through our intro. We've gone
only took half an hour.
We're not even on script. I don't think we're even in the same country as script.
No, it's good. I like it. It's good. It's a good. Lots of
good
topics there.
What I'd like to see is a few little comments on our little show here. I'd like people to tell us if they do have a film camera. What is it? I'd love to see what people have got sitting in their closets, and I would like to also see, or people put down, when the last time they actually shot a roll of film, because we have a lot of photographers that listen and watch. I'd be interested to see what the sort of ratio of people that say that I haven't touched film for decades, or I put a roll of film through over Christmas. I think it'd be quite interesting to hear what people have to say. But
would be cool. And we're not filmist. If you don't, film's not your thing. Sweet, whatever. We don't care.
Yeah.
But
we won't.
It's interesting. But it's funny though, because I have a yearning for it. I want to go out and shoot film again. So it's just interesting.
I always have my Olympus OM3 Ti in my bag when I go out, and it's always got a roll of Velvia in it. And I don't use it all the time, but if I get a really nice shot of my digital, I'm like, geez, that looked nice on film. And sometimes I just replicate it. Let's do the same shot and put them together and have a look, and then scan them and have a look. The funny thing is, the ironic thing is that when we get all these digital shots, film shots back, we digitize them through a scanner.
That's right.
So It makes no sense.
So if you come into camera and photo and you drop off a roll of film, you have an option for me just to Dropbox you the prints or the images.
Oh, right. That's cool.
So which is the cheapest way to do it, and it's actually, in my opinion, the best way to do it because it's best for the environment, because you might get your roll of 24 and there's only 5 that you actually should have got printed.
Yeah.
So we give people the option to get the photos digitally, a set of prints, or on USB, or all 3. So and 9 times out of 10 now, people are just just Dropbox me and then dispose of the film.
Yeah.
So they end up with scans anyway.
Yeah,
so it is ironic, but like I said, that they're chalk and cheese. It just happens to be that the delivery method is now by scanning. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's the most efficient way to do it. So one topic we did want to talk about, other than all that crap we just went on with. So if you've listened this far, this is actually what we're talking about for the next few minutes. Well, we've only got like 5 minutes. No,
you can now see how scripted we are with these pre-recorded shows.
Yeah, that's right. One of our topics was goal setting for 2022. Now, I haven't really given this a lot of thought, I'll be honest, but. In terms of photography, I haven't given a lot of thought, but you sort of hinted that you might have set yourself a couple of little goals this year.
Yeah, I do this sort of most years, not always at the start of the year, but somewhere through the year I sort of make a goal. And that going back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, that just getting your ass off the seat and going out and doing stuff. I think having yourself a bit of a goal throughout the year to go out and shoot something will encourage you to actually go out and shoot something. If you don't have a goal, then you just sort of you think, oh, well, I might have a time on this weekend. I might go out and do a photo of this or do that. But if you set yourself a goal, I remember when I first moved down here to Tassie, Tassie's got waterfalls everywhere, like 200 different waterfalls. I set myself a task to do 52 waterfalls in 52 weeks.
I remember it well.
Yeah, and it didn't mean I had to do one waterfall a week. There's some that were really close. I could do like 4 in a day or whatever. But it gave me a goal to get through the year and shoot waterfalls. And shooting waterfalls, my ability went from being okay at shooting waterfalls to being really, really good at shooting waterfalls in a matter of 20 waterfalls because I was doing it so long. So what I'm going to do this year, down here they've got the Tassie 60 greatest short walks. So there's 60 little short walks all around Tassie. There's 60 of them. And some of them are literally 400 metres. Some of them are half-day hikes, whatever it might be. Having a look through this little booklet that Parks and Wildlife give out, I've pretty much done a lot of them already over the last 12 years I've been here. But I'm going to do them again. I'm going to set myself a goal to do these 60 walks again and photograph them and document them, each one I go through. So I was putting it out there that I think setting goals is a good thing because it does get you out shooting more frequently. And I think it'd be interesting to see what our viewers might do setting goals for themselves or whether or not they don't. But I think it's a good way to practice by not really practicing. You sort of set yourself a goal and it gives you a purpose to get out there more often.
Absolutely, that sounds pretty cool. So basically, if you do, is it so you want to do one a week? Is that your plan, or just do the 60 over a year?
I'll do 60 over the year. So where this shot behind me is, and Tas Parks and Wildlife are a little bit cheeky. Behind us here is the Harts Mountain National Park. There's 3 walks in this park, and they're all on this track. You pass them all on the same walk. So you can walk to the Harts Peak.
3
and tick
for the
off
price
3
of 1 on this track.
Yeah, you do get, and there's a few of them. There's a few of them like that where you get 2 or 3 for the price of 1 in a day walk or something like that. So I'm going to try and do at least a good couple of outings each month, and try and tick off 4 or 5 a month or whatever it might be, and then get through them. And some of them I haven't done before. It's probably a dozen or so I haven't done. And there are some that I've done a few times, but they are really nice walks. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. And not only does it get me out shooting, but it keeps me a bit fitter. Keeps me off the couch, gets me outside, gets me some fresh air. I take the kids. A lot of these are really friendly walks as well for families. So I'm sure people that listen where they live have little walks, or set yourself a goal to do a certain amount of national parks in Victoria or Queensland or New South Wales, wherever you are, and tick them off because it's good fun. It gives you something to do.
No, that's a very good goal, and it'll stimulate you a lot because I would imagine. I mean, Tassie's quite diverse, so there's going to be 60 walks in 60 very different locations. Yeah.
There's lots of forests, lakes, mountains, beaches. There's actually quite a few that are through historic ruins as well, which is cool. So it'll give me something different to look at when you're shooting as well. But I just think it's a good idea to improve your photography. I think it's good just to have some sort of goal, and it doesn't have to be. I don't think it doesn't have to be something like that. It could be just simply, okay, I want to shoot a sunrise every month, or I want to shoot a sunset every month, and plan it. Get out there, prepare yourself.
Folks, if you've ever thought of, I'll shoot the sunrise, do it. Get up and shoot the sunrise. You never regret it. Even if the conditions are shite, you never regret just going to do it. It's so good. Even if you don't come back with one photo, going to see a sunrise should be a regular thing that you do.
I do this a lot on workshops, and I'm sure my guests tune into it pretty quickly, but I'll be honest, I hate sunrises. I hate getting up for sunrises. I hate the idea of it. If I had my time again, I wouldn't be a landscape photographer. But we do some workshops where the sun's up pretty early, and but I don't think I've ever once regretted. I might regret the idea of getting up. I might not like the idea of getting up. We might go out and get a shot that's nothing that special. But when you get back and you get to me, I get around to about like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, geez, I'm glad I got up early. I saw the start of the day. I'm wide awake. I've done so much stuff already. It's good for you.
It's amazing what you can achieve. And particularly at this time of year when it's light at like 4:30 there, isn't it, or something?
I made the mistake last year of running a Tarkine workshop in January.
Whoops. Man,
it was brutal. We were up, like this. It's not dark here until 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and the sun's popping up at about 4:15.
Mm-hmm.
It was brutal. And I and usually on a workshop, sometimes I'm in the background praying for rain, like, oh, please let it rain today. We just call it off. Don't worry about staying in bed, folks. Nah, every day was spot on. So by the time I got to the end of the workshop, we were all eyes hanging out on our cheeks, and but we got some good shots. But yeah, I agree. Get up, shoot the sunset, sunrises, make the effort.
Yeah.
And if the goal could be, if you're a real coastal photographer, then go shoot some more forests, or vice versa.
Yeah,
diversify yourself a bit and challenge yourself.
Yeah. Lay down a few challenges. I mean, nothing can go wrong. I mean, it's just go out and do it. Like, easy for me to say. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. Here's a thought on the fly. How about as a Down South photo show, we set a theme each month or a challenge for each month that people listening or watching can go out and, hey, this month your challenge is to shoot X. And then the people can just share them on our Facebook page. Right.
Well, I think it's very comfortable and easy for us to say what the topic for January is, this being the first podcast of the year. The topic for January is the sunrise. So where you probably, let's say the sunrise near you. Like, we want to see photos from your backyard. Not you, Cam, but the listeners. We know your backyard.
If I have 227 people sitting in my backyard one day,
not literally your backyard, but like your neck of the woods.
Yeah, your neck. Yeah, we don't want to hold up shots of your clothesline with the sunrise in the background. But yes, let's do that.
And nor do we want 200 photos of the summer apostles at sunrise either. So
no, that's right. But yeah, be a bit creative. You've got until the end of the month. Feel free, if you get a shot that you're happy with, post it up on our Down South Photo Show Facebook page, which is in the links of the details below. And we'll share them as we go along. We'll give you credit, we'll share them, we'll print them off, we'll frame them, we'll sell them as our own, and we won't have to work again.
Exactly, that's right. We don't have to work a day in our life. This calls for a hashtag. You need to work out a hashtag, and it'll be January sunrise or something like that. We'll come up with it. We'll work something out, and we'll post that somewhere. To that end as well, with any luck, the podcast will go back to a fairly regular weekly basis now. Yep. Save for my week off at the end of January, which I will not be doing any podcasting then. We might be able to find you a little guest for that one, Cam, towards the end of Jan.
Yeah, we could do that.
We'll see if anyone's listening and would like to come onto the podcast and have a chat with Cam about their photography. Anyway, we'll get to that. But goal setting, as far as I'm concerned, for 2022, there are a lot more to do with my business, which by sort of extension of my photography is my business, I suppose. But one is definitely my website is in desperate need of a makeover. It feels like a house that's falling apart and needs a renovation. So that's going to be... I like the look and feel of my website, but it's as wholly
Brendan Waits. Is it Brendan Waits Photography?
Cameraandphoto.com.au.
Oh, that one, my friend. You don't have one for your own stuff, do you?
I don't have a. My website used to be BrendanWaitsPhotography.com.au, but now it's cameraandphoto.com.au, and I've got my gallery page there, and which is great, but it just needs a makeover. I'm looking at it now. There's some. Is that kangaroo jumping across the water reel? Yes,
and surely that's digital and manipulated.
That's right, and shot on film.
Yes. That's
There
where I
you
was
go.
going.
So jump on my website, cameraandphoto.com.au, go to the gallery, go to the wildlife page, and have a look at my kangaroo hop across the lake.
It's called Across Australia is where it's found.
There you go.
You don't even know where it is.
Yeah, we'll go to my Across Australia page.
All right,
You'll see it.
let's test your knowledge. What lake was it shot on?
Lake Catharaba.
Oh, there you go. It was your shot then.
Yeah. Okay. How many times do you reckon I've said that? Where did you get that?
That's it. Yeah.
So I mean, it'll be the website will get a makeover. Like I said towards the end of last year, my workshops are back, which is fantastic. I actually sold a number of gift vouchers for my workshops over Christmas, so I better bloody well run them now. People are prepaid, so I'm going to get out and do that. So there'll be that sort of stuff. There's a lot of I suppose over the last 2 years, I feel like I've sort of been on a long service leave for 2 years. It's weird. It's like, I've sort of drifted in and out of hard work, if you like. It's been, I've never had a real long stretch of where it's been tough, busy, because then we had lockdowns and things were just, the brakes were on. So,
well, it's funny you say that because the people I met today from your neck of the woods down here, they said the same thing. It's been just the last 2 years have just been stop-start. Like, we're going. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, we're not. Like, it's just been no one. You can't get any momentum. So
yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. It's been tough to get your teeth into stuff, and the website was one area where you'd think I would have put more time into, but just I don't know. Motivation was tough, I suppose, as well. So trying to get that sorted out. Thanks for that awesome hashtag that I can't repeat, Cameron, that you've just put in our notes. That was.
It's good, isn't it?
It's a beauty.
It's a good one.
On that one. I like.
But I think you're right though as well. Like if it's not necessarily photography goals, if people, a lot of people want to start a website up or want to get a gallery going or some sort of online thing happening, then set that as a goal for the year. That by the end of the year you want to have a fully functioning gallery or website or whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to set myself one more goal for this year, and that is to take at least one photo in Tasmania this year. Well,
I will fall over with shock if you do that. I'm
not even going to tell you. I'm just going to turn up.
Is there any room? I reckon this year as well, and I'm going to push hard for this as well, but I reckon you and I should do maybe a weekend workshop up near you.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely got legs, and we will get that happening. Yeah, at some point we'll work it out.
We'll get it working. Cool. Well, there you go. That's our goals for 2022 set out.
Yes, nice. We're gonna that second topic that I've got listed there. We're going to hang over for next week's podcast because we're already out to 45 minutes.
I know we cracked off that film, didn't we?
In the pre-meeting that we had for 2 minutes before we started recording this, I said to Cam, "There's no real need to make this a really long podcast because, like, it's just a bit of a hey, we're still here sort of thing, and welcome to 2022. But we've crapped on now for 45 minutes as it is. So, a couple of other little bits of homework as well. We want to keep our Dear Cam segment going. So, we've had some really cool questions on the Dear Cam. We get some good feedback on that. That quite often the question that comes in is a question that someone else or you've got that you wanted answered. So shoot us a Dear Cam question for next week, and our good friend there in Tasmania will try and answer it for you. It can be anything photography related, not necessarily landscape. It would be cool if it was landscape because that's what this is all about. But if you've got any gear questions or film questions.
We actually had an email over the Christmas break from a very loyal listener, Dave Marland, who is David's just booked his seat on the Franklin River this year in November.
All right.
He's coming. He's coming on a mission. But he said it'd be a good idea to maybe try and get some people on here talking about what they've learned at workshops and things, maybe talking about their experience they've had doing stuff with workshops, not necessarily with us, but just in general what they've gone out and learnt and stuff
good
like
point,
that.
Because I'm sure there's people out there who are a bit hesitant about booking a workshop because they don't really know what goes on these things. So that's definitely a good idea.
And having it come from a guest's mouth, not necessarily us plugging what we do, because like I said, it's not necessarily all about us, but like you said, sort of having an example of what happens on a workshop, because I'm sure a lot of people think, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I've got to put a bit of money away for it. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So I think, this 2022 for the show, I think we'll definitely incorporate some more guests and bring it. We've got an extra box below us that we can bring someone in.
As long as we can have
do we have to bring Ash back?
I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should.
I think we should at something. Did you see the spike?
I did see the spike. Yeah, I'm still trying to get over it. But
I know. I promised him new subscribers. I don't know if that delivered, but
well, maybe when you're away this month, he can jump on and co-host with me.
If he's not shooting a bloody wedding, my God, he shoots so many weddings. It's crazy. He did one on the weekend. He's doing them midweek because people haven't been able to do weddings, so they're cramming them in as quick as they can.
Well, he'll be burnt out by February.
Yeah, that's right. He'll need to come on the podcast.
He won't want to pick up a camera until September.
That's exactly right. Right. So, Cam, just tell people quickly about your gallery and where it is at.
Yeah, so what's going on? We've got the gallery. It's located at the Richmond Botanicals Company, which is 16 Bridge Road in Richmond. Richmond is pumping at the moment. So even though the state hasn't got heaps of people, Richmond is one place that everyone goes. So we've got lots of people coming through. It's great. Pop in and say hello. We're trying to be there every few days over the weekends and spending a few hours there. So if you're coming down to Tassie and you want to catch up at the gallery, shoot me a message, and if I'm available, I'm more than happy to pop out and say g'day to people. And then up until that, I haven't got much else going on until sort of... actually, I'm doing a big walk towards the end of this month, actually. I might have to keep that till next episode as well. But I'm actually one of our listeners. I'm actually walking with one of our listeners, and we're going to do the South Coast Track, which is 8 days hiking completely off the grid.
Is this one you've done before? Or is it
I've never done this one. This is probably one of the last tracks in Tassie I haven't done.
I would have thought you would have circumnavigated that island by now on foot.
Yeah, I pretty much have, but just not this bit. So it's really exciting. You got to fly in there. You got to get dropped off on an airstrip to get there, and so yeah, we'll save that for another episode.
What's the name of the walk?
It's called the South Coast Track.
South Coast Track. Okay,
so it pretty much walks along the coastline along the southwest of Tasmania, where there is nothing.
Which is World Heritage.
Yeah, World
National
Heritage
Park.
Wilderness of nothing but amazing beaches and mountains and stuff like that. So looking forward to that. That's why I'm out walking a bit. That's a bit of a goal for me. I need to get a few Ks under the legs before I do that.
Right. Okay. We look forward to seeing the results from that.
Yeah. So how about you? What's anything? You haven't got any workshops this month, have you?
We will have workshops starting again in February. That's right. Okay. So at both stores, Ocean Grove and Torquay. But for the majority of this month, it's all about printing everyone's holiday photos and things like that. Yeah. Keeping the stores ticking along. Our online photo ordering system is going gangbusters. And we do have Australia-wide delivery as well. So cameraandphoto.com.au and click on online prints. Let me print your photos for you. We know what we're doing, and we like to deliver good quality prints. So
did I see correctly that you were crazy doing prints like the day before Christmas? You put it out there and say, you bring it in today, I'll print it today.
Yeah, that week leading up to Christmas, it becomes a bit of a joke where, you call that last minute, I'll show you last minute. Yeah. And literally at 5 p.m. Christmas Eve, we printed our last photos.
Wow.
It was pretty hectic, but cool at the same time. We enjoy doing it. And like I said, I know that we're good printers, so come our way.
I can vouch for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry, yes. I was just going to say, I have to say hello to you from some people as well. So on a Christmas break, I saw our good friends Bradley, Bradford, and Mark. I both saw them. They said to say hello. So
the guys from DigiDirect
in Melbourne, good old workmates. Nothing's changed with those two. It's still pretty much business as usual.
No, I could well imagine.
As you can imagine.
Except for the fact that Mark pretty much runs the joint.
Mark's gone from being the junior store boy to the head honcho pretty much. So good on him.
That's excellent. A couple of good people. And on that note, I think we might end this episode. So unless you've got anything else to add.
No, I just want to say again, Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for coming back for 2022. I know I'm excited about this show. We're loving it. We're still enjoying it. You and I are still talking. That's a bonus.
That's right.
Let's keep it going for this whole year and have a bit of fun.
Absolutely. So thanks for listening, everyone, to episode 25 of the Down South Photo Show. We will talk to you, I think, next week. Goodness me, we might get on a roll.
2 in a row.
What the hell? Happy New Year, everyone. We will see you on the Down South Photo Show next week. Cheers.
Ciao.